Many are confusing love with a soul tie. The fruit may look similar, but the root is oftentimes very different, often leading to destructive rather than healthy connections. Hi, welcome back to Light and Shadow. My name is JF. Today I'm talking about a subject that is very difficult to accomplish. So sit tight and let's explore breaking soul ties. Breaking a soul tie is severing an intense emotional or spiritual bond with another person. It is a process of reclaiming your mental, emotional, and spiritual person. While soul ties can be healthy, like those between spouse and close friends, breaking one typically refers to severing a toxic or ungodly connection that leaves you feeling drained, stuck, or unable to. Key steps to breaking a soul tie: acknowledge the connection. Identify that the relationship is unhealthy or incompatible with your growth. Recognize how it negatively impacts your emotions and mindset. 2. Repent and renounce. Many spiritual perspectives emphasize confessing any sin or unhealthy decisions that form the bond. Verbally renounce the tie, declaring that it no longer has a hold over you. And this is something that you're going to have to actually voice to yourself. Oftentimes, especially late at night, when I'm ruminating on something, I talk to myself. And you know what? Talking to yourself is not a sign that you're going cuckoo. It's actually a sign of high intelligence, if you didn't know. And in talking to myself, I look at different point of views in that conversation. And that helps me process things much better because it gives me very many different point of view. So I see my view, their view, sideways view, backwards view, you name it. And in repeating things to yourself like that and talking to yourself like that, that's how you establish a control over your mind, control over what you're thinking. Verbally renouncing a soul tie is a start. Give yourself and the other. Now that's a hard one. I think that forgiving the other person was easier for me than it was forgiving myself. Forgiveness is not about condoning actions, but releasing the anger and resentment that keeps you tethered to them. Now do you see it? Whether it's you forgiving them or you forgiving yourself for the part that you had to do in that relationship. Because the other person may have been toxic, but you know what? You allowed that to go on for a certain time. For some of us, for a long time. So yes, forgiving yourself is empirical. And as far as forgiving the other person, well, you know what? You don't forgive them for what they did. You forgive them for you. You forgive them for your peace of mind. And that, my friends, also works. Cut off contact. Distance is crucial. This often means going no contact, blocking numbers, and removing them from social media. Remove physical reminders. Get rid of gifts, photos, or objects that triggered memories of the person. Practice self-care and healing. Engage in activities that restore your energy, such as journaling, meditation, exercise, or spending time with a positive support system. And that's something that everybody needs, a positive support system, whether it's family, whether it's close friends. But, to me, it was very close friends, which I have a few, but, I like to keep my circle small, really. And those friends that I have, I know are loyal, and I know are loving, and I know are good people. And they've supported me through that, and thank you very much. The other thing, too, that I've done, exercising. I went back to the gym. And that helped me process a lot of things, too. Because, while you're working out, you can think at the same time, Or working out is not that hard. You get time to think. And I also took up Wing Chun, which is a form of Kung Fu, the one that Bruce Lee practiced. And I enjoyed that. That gives me focus and center. So these are a few things that I've been doing that have helped me through this transition. And this podcast, as a prime example, is actually the best example I can give, because through this podcast, I was able to release my emotions, I was able to express myself, and I was able to heal. And that's a wonderful thing. So you know what? If you can take what I've learned, then I've done my job. So let's keep going. Spiritual and psychological approaches. Now, I'll give the perspective from a biblical point of view, which is severing ungodly bonds. Key practice: prayer of renunciation, explicitly breaking the tie in Jesus' name for people who are religious of Christianity. Perspective, the energetic side of it, cutting enteric cords. Imagine a cord connecting you and the person being cut. And that's what I did. Every day I kept visualizing a cord linking me to this person. And every day I would close my eyes, take the scissors in my head and just click. And I don't know if you know this, but even if you do this once a day, you would be surprised at the results you get. It's incredible. But the thing is, when you do these things, you have to do it with meaning. You have to have the meaning behind it. If you just do it to do it, that's not going to work. Meaning behind your actions. That's what counts. On the psychological perspective, resolving trauma bonds, working with a professional to identify patterns of dependency or trauma, which is another thing I did. While this was going on at the onset and afterwards, I spent every 2 weeks with my psychologist and went through a lot of things. That was a tremendous help. Signs of success. So when are you going to know if this is working or not? And that's a good question, isn't it? Now here's the answer. You will know the tie is breaking when you experience a self of relief, peace, and clarity. You may feel physically lighter and find it easier to focus on your own life without obsessive thoughts of the other person. And when that happens and when it starts happening, it's such a relief. So you know what? If you're in the midst of it, don't give up. Don't give up. Keep going. But you know what? Do it with intention. That works. All right. What have you done to share your light this week? Again, this week, tons of messages. Every one of them positive. Thank you, guys. Like every one of your messages are positive. It's crazy. Thank you. Also, my light this week is that I'm approaching 1 million views since October 19. Guys, thank you. Thank you, because that spreads this word. That spreads a message of peace, a message of healing, a message of helping. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. And the biggest light for me this week was, well, somebody who became the light of my life. And she has helped me a couple of times with this podcast. Actually, she was the inspiration for this one. She gave me the idea for this one. And thank you, baby. I really appreciate and love you. So now that my light is shining brightly, what have you done this week to shine your light? Ask yourself that question. And until next week, I will leave you as always with love, light, and shadows. Until next week.